Hi again, Mullen fans. I hope you're all doing really well. So it's now our second trading day after Christmas, another day of that, I guess, sort of low market activity in terms of there's not much institutional happenings in the market. And Mullen Automotive's trading reasonably flat, despite having a bit of a rally at the start and a dip. It's still sitting pretty even for the day. Good. That's good. It means we're tracking for a fourth day above $1. So it means we are, what, 20... Is that right? No, 20% of the way to achieving that NASDAQ goal to remain a listed entity. So that's really good news. There's also been a bit of news out from the company. It hasn't seemed to do too much to move the needle, other than perhaps that little jump at the start of the day. And that's that the company has began testing their battery packs in the Class 1 cargo van. Well, they're going to be starting doing that from tomorrow, which is today where I am. So that's all good news. Now, obviously, the appeal of having these battery packs working efficiently and how they hope in the vans is that it obviously makes the van just that little bit more marketable, as it's just supposed to improve the performance of the vehicle without any sort of reduction of like the load that it can carry. So that's a good step. I guess it's a logical one. People are kind of expecting it operationally. But, you know, it's good news. It shows that they are trending in the right direction operationally. It's something that I guess Mullen has kind of done at least the last 6 months or so. They've been actually on the right track operationally. They've just, you know, really suffered in terms of their market performance. And so this news, while it shouldn't really move the needle too much, and it hasn't, it is good. It shows that they are on the right track, and it might mean that in the pipeline there is some further sales booked for you know, these vans in the future. Now, obviously, yesterday there was the news that they had delivered another 100 million. Oh, sorry, 100 million. Another 100. They've reached their 100 vehicle delivery milestone for the year to Randy Marion, and that was obviously good news because it means that the company's booking more revenue. And I think to date it means that they've booked about $7.5 million in revenue for the quarter. We'll obviously get the final figure, you know, come like when the books get published next year. So that's good news for Mullen Automotive. But yeah, it's still a reasonably flat day for the market. It makes you start to think, like, where is it that Mullen Automotive is going to sit for the rest of the year? I've kind of speculated about this, having the reverse stock split just before this Christmas period. Other than that little bit of excitement at the start, I think we're going to actually be in for, at least for this week and maybe early next week, a bit of a flat experience with the stock, at least until there's more sort of institutional movement. So yeah, that's kind of where I see things at the moment. If you see things differently or you agree or whatever, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Obviously, another big thing is we're getting towards the end of the year. I'd really love to hear what you guys think to do with Mullen Automotive. Are you feeling like right now we're at the bottom, or do you think there's actually a bit more pain to come, in the sense that, you know, think about what's happened recently? We had the $32 million promissory note, which we have to pay back $50 million in a short term, and we still don't really know what those funds are going to be used for. Is it just operations, or is it, you know, something more meaningful in a financial term? Are they going to be able to return more than $50 million in value to the company to make it a worthwhile transaction? So, you know, that weighs on the company a lot. And is that just another sign that there's going to be more issues in the future? We've already talked about on here before that looks like there's going to be a need for at least a further equity raise next year at some point. I think one of the things that I wonder about with this promissory note is, was it done to avoid having to do another equity raise like very late this year? Because Dave Mitchell sort of came out earlier in the year after the last one and said there won't be any more equity raising this year. That's when they had $200 million cash on the books. But it's no secret that Mullen burns through, on average, about $15 to $20 million a month in cash. So that's not a good sign, but at least they're now starting to book a bit of revenue. But booking that revenue, you know, the cost of delivering the vehicles and the endpoint manufacturing does add a little bit more into the running expenses of the business. So anyway, from what we know, there looks like there's still a bit of financial struggle to come for Mullen Automotive, and it isn't too much being said about any new sales being booked. And that's kind of key right now, is we want to see more sales being booked. It'd also be great to see, you know, obviously with the things like the batteries, that they have successful testing in the vans, and, you know, they can start rolling them out in the vehicles, and, you know, that might help lead to more revenue. But yeah, so there's some financial pain, and just to summarize, there is financial pain, and there is some I guess not much news in terms of more revenue being booked by the company. So there's that side of it. But at the other side, you know, we're kind of potentially maybe around the bottom where the stock's going to be. We can never say this for sure. Now that Mullen's at $11, there's a very good chance it could get eviscerated back down. But I think now that there is not much liquidity in the stock, the stock price should hold up easily above the dollar mark. But you know, it will take a bit more for it to, you know, really wind back in value. And I think the only catalyst at the moment that's going to, well, there could be a couple of things that could really hurt the company in the future. We don't know if there's going to be any sort of recalls on any vehicles. That's a very common problem that new EV companies have. So if we wait to see if there's anything like that, fingers crossed we're all clear. And obviously the equity raising that the company's planning, well, sounds like they're planning for next year. You know, these two items are going to, I think, really hurt the company's stock price. And when, particularly the equity raising, when that occurs, I think that's when we could see the stock price actually really start to dip, if it does indeed happen. Anyway, just a couple of thoughts. I think for me, I got into MULN Automotive this year, and I thought, you know, it's a bit of a speculative move, and you know, it became quite interesting because people like me making videos about it, or I don't know if you guys like them or not, but I make videos about it. And you know, so I kind of followed it, and I did do a little bit of trading with it, but I've never really had a big position in the company. And I know obviously there's a lot of people out there who are really despise the company. They've lost a lot of money, and you know, some of them start playing for the other side. They short the company now too, which is, you know, your business. You're fair enough. You can do what you like. But there's still obviously a core group of people who really believe what the company is doing. And I honestly think that where they're going with as a company is really good. It's a good direction. But I think they've tried to get themselves involved in too much, and they haven't just focused on getting key, you know, production and sales of like one line and then a second line of vehicles, and then start moving into these other lines of vehicles and developments of technology. They're trying to do too much, and they're stretching themselves, and it's come at the cost of shareholders, some of which are down. Like I think I had someone say they'd lost about $140,000 on this stock, and I was like amazed. I couldn't believe that was crazy. You know, but there's people out there who have lost a lot of money, and there's no empathy from the board about it, really. Like, other than, oh, we're going after shorts or spoofing in the stock. It's like it's a very tokenistic thing. Obviously, David Mitchell's down a lot in value too, but you know, he kind of gets just throwing shares at him for some very easy milestones without much thought on the financial performance of the company's stock. So yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it there for this little rant. But yeah, share your thoughts on what you think you're going to do with MULN Automotive going forward. Are you ready to like wipe your hands with it? New year, new challenges. You're going to hold strong. You know, do you think we're at the bottom? Do you think there's further to go down? Share it all in the comments. Always love to hear from you guys. Till next time, have a great day. May the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.